everyone, I'm Khoa. Today I'm going to talk about Scratch. Let's start with Scratch. Scratch is the best educational programming software available today. No other tools make programming as easy as Scratch does. Many similar products have been inspired by Scratch, but Scratch remains the most popular. With Scratch, you can create interactive games, animations, and science projects, all while having lots of fun. Scratch is a free programming environment that runs in your web browser. It was designed by MIT Media Lab Lifelong Kindergarten Group. Scratch users called Scratchers can create programs by snapping together code blocks in the Scratch editor. Although Scratch is designed for 8 to 16 years old, Scratchers consider people of age, including the younger children with their parents. The software makes it easy for anyone to start developing their programming and problem-solving skills. Because Scratch runs in your web browser, there's no software to install. It's impossible for a Scratch program to damage the files on your computer. Scratch is completely free. There are no add-on in-app purchases, so kids can play with everything on the Scratch site, and adults don't have worry about accidental charge. In Scratch, you use the mouse to drag and drop code blocks. So little typing is needed. Here's an example of the snap together code blocks. The visual Scratch editor provides you with the feedback, so you don't have to type mysterious comments for hours before you can see your program's count. Life. Scratch is programming immediate and fun, and unlike other programming languages, Scratch doesn't have any error messages that pop up to confuse the programmer. If you want to learn the basics of programming or have someone else learn, Scratch is second to none. You can find answers to frequently asked questions at https://scratch.mit.edu info FAQ. Running Scratch. To start using Scratch, open your web browser and go to https://mit.edu. It doesn't matter whether you're running Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, or iOS. Scratch Free will run on tablet, smartphone, and Raspberry Pi. Setting up for an account is free. You can create Scratch program without an account, but having the Scratch account lets you save your programs online. Then you can continue working on them later for any device connected to the internet. Click the Join Scratch link at the top of the page to create an account. The new window opens. Choose the username and password to enter the account information. Scratch will never share your email address or personal information without your permission. Its full privacy policy is at https://scratch.mit.edu privacy. Keep your private information safe. Use your real name and never share your password except with parents or teachers. Don't give your password to anyone claiming to be a Scratch or MIT employee will employees never ask for it. To reuse the same password you use for email or any other online account, because one account password had hacked, the hacker could access your other accounts too. After you logged into the Scratch website, click the quick link at the top of the page to start the Scratch editor. Scratch Desktop, the offline editor. Scratch Desktop, the offline Scratch editor. Let you program without being connected to the internet. If you don't have internet access or if the Wi-Fi is unreliable, you can install the offline editor on your computer instead of using the Scratch website. The only difference is the programming will be saved on your computer instead of on the Scratch website. You can later apply the Scratch program or copy them to a USB flash drive to move them to another computer. The Scratch offline editor is available at https://mit.edu download. Note: you may find the editor software for earlier version Scratch 1.4 on 2.0. Don't use these versions. They are out of date and don't have new features that Scratch has. If you use Scratch in your web browser, you're using Scratch 3. If you download an offline Scratch editor, be sure to download Scratch 3. The Scratch editor and Sprite. The Sprite editor is where you snap code blocks together to create your game, an animation, or artwork. To create link at the top of the page opens the editor and show its flowing feature, so you can start making Scratch programs. The most basic update in Scratch is the sprite. Sprites appear on the stage scene and the code blocks control their behavior. The editor automatically start with a cast sprite or for a new project, but you can delete it and add more sprite. You can program a sprite by adding code blocks to the code area 5. On the right side of the screen is Scratch. A stack of code blocks is called a sprite. The text field at the top of the editor contains the project name tool. After you name the project using a descriptive name, remember to unsuccessfully save the project by clicking File Save Now from the navigation bar 1 to avoid losing the work if the browser crashes. You access the code block from the block palette 7 in the center at the top of the block palette. All 9 categories of code blocks: motion, looks, sound, event, control, sensing, operators, variables in my block. Every code block belongs to one category. It is the color of that category. For example, the save block comes from the purple looks category. The infinite supply of code blocks is available. Just drag them from the block palette to the code area. Each sprite has its own screen. When you click the sprite in the sprite list, the sprite screen will display in the code area, and its properties will display in the sprite pane 9. Select the script tab 3 to display the code area. The code area is replaced by the pen editor and sound editor when the custom and sound tabs are selected respectively. Clicking the green flag will restart your program, and clicking the red stop sign will stop its form. The pen editor. There are a few to get sprite into your program. You can use the sprite that comes with Scratch, a blank sprite from the computer, or draw your own. If you want to draw your own, you can use Scratch Pen Editor. The pen editor is similar to other painting programs such as Microsoft Paint or Paintbrush to draw a new sprite. Take the plain paintbrush pattern next to the new sprite. You can change how sprite looks by switching to one of many costumes. To create the new costume for a sprite, click the Costume tab and then click the paintbrush pattern next to New Costume. The main parts of the pen editor are the drawing tools, which you can select using the pattern on the left side, the canvas where you draw image, the costume center, which indicates the center of the costume with the crosshair symbol, the line width selector, which sets the width of the drawing tools, the color selector, which changes the color of the drawing tools, the zoom buttons for zooming into or around the canvas, the undo and redo pattern, which can help you correct mistakes. The pen editor looks like this. Experiment with the pen editor by clicking the drawing tools button and dragging the mouse over the canvas to see how the tools work. Change the color and width of the drawing tools with the color selectors and line width selector. Then use the brush tool to draw some lines on the costume. If you make a mistake, click the undo pattern at the top. Then list the sprite costume dealing the column to the left of the drawing tools. If you want to save a costume as an image file, right-click the costume and select Export. Working with code blocks. Before you begin programming, it's good to get an idea of the code blocks that together in the editor. Throughout this block, you learn what each code block does. Adding blocks to create a new code block, drag it from the center block palette to the code area. The code blocks that have a notch on top and bump on the bottom are called stack blocks. You snap a stack block together with another stack block, drag the block close to the bottom of the other. When a gray background appears, drop the block to connect it to the stack. Stack blocks can also fit in between blocks. Look carefully at where the gray background appears in the script. This is where the block will snap into place. The figure shows the way 1 second block began moved into the middle of the script. You can change a white field inside the block by clicking the white area and entering the new input. The rounded blocks are called recorder blocks. They fit inside the white field. For example, in the flowing figure, the green page random 1 to 10 block fit inside the white field. When the left edge of the recorder block is over the white field, A white outline appears around the white field. If the left edge isn't over the white field, the white outline won't appear, and the reporter block cannot be placed inside. Deleting blocks. Remove blocks them out of the script. If you remove a stack block, you also remove the stack block connected beneath it, and shown in the next figure. You may need to set aside each block if you want to reconnect some of them to the script. That the block you want to delete over the block palette to remove them from the stage. You can always add more blocks from the block palette when you need. You can also right-click the block and select Delete Block on the menu and appear. If you accidentally delete some blocks, you may be able to restore them by selecting Edit Restore from the navigation bar. Running program. Create a new flowing program by dragging from the block palette to the code area. When you click the green flag at the top of the stage, this program will start. Program begins at the top block when green flag clicked, and then runs the next code blocking a script. In this example, a speech bubble appears above the script and displays the word hello. In the forever loop, the script moves forward 10 steps and turns counterclockwise by 15 degrees. When the program gets to the last block, it loops back to the top. All the blocks in the forever block will run in the loop forever. This program stops only when you click the red stop sign. You can also run a script or block by clicking it. But clicking the green flag is the normal way to start your program. You can have as many spreading code blocks in your program as you want. As you create the programming projects in this blog, you learn about scratch many different types of code blocks. Showing of the program. When you are logged into your Scratch account, click the Share button at the top right corner of the editor to let other Scratchers see your program. They'll be able to play the game and leave comments. The Scratchers enjoy playing the game. They can like and favorite your program. Once you finish the project, you can also add it to the Scratch Programming Playground Studio. This studio features projects you and other readers have made. Once you share your project in Scratch, copy the URL and go to the studio page at https://event-with-scratch.com studio. Click the Add Project button, place the URL into the text field, and click Add by URL. Now other readers will be able to view your game in Studio. Don't worry if you think your game isn't good enough. Everyone begins their coding journey with simple games. Most people on the Scratch website are beginners too. With a million people have shared their programs on Scratch website, so they don't ready. Although they get many views, game can be difficult to find with so many available on the site. Getting help. Becoming a super programmer isn't about knowing as Knowing all the question is knowing how to find answer. You can follow the steps for the project in this book, but you might have questions of your own. The tutorial's window at the top of the Scratch editor is the tutorial main button. Click this button to bring up the tutorial window, which has links to several Scratch video tutorials. To see inside button, you can learn many new things by looking at all the Scratch's code. Find the project you like on Scratch website and then click the See Inside button. You are allowed to copy or modify or remix the other Scratch code or Scratch programs. The website are automatically released under a Creative Commons license, so you don't need to ask the original creator for permission as long as you give them credit. Scratchers often remix each other's programs to create their own version. Still need help and want to talk to other Scratchers? Click the discussion forums link at the bottom of the home page at https://mit.edu to visit the discussion forums. Summary: the Scratch editor is a script tool with a great functional UC or source Scratch project on the Scratch website, game, cartoon, simulation, and information presentation slide. Now that you know how to access the Scratch website, create an account, use the Scratch and Pen editor. It's not to get the code block into script. You are ready to follow the step-by-step instructions in the rest of this book. If you want help, be sure to use the tutorials window in the Scratch editor and the discussion forums on the Scratch website to find the answers you need. Let's start creating the Scratch program. Goodbye, everyone.